Well, babies are a precious gift, and we should give them the best start in life with healthy foods. And Kelly Springer's here because I think she's going to show us a thing or two on baby's first bites.
Yeah,
right?
It's not really a surprise. This is actually part of the site. So where do we start? When can they start eating?
So you really want to watch for signs that the baby's ready to eat. So that's like actually sitting up, holding their head, reaching for foods is a great sign, and also that they're teething. So around the 5 to 6 month time is when you want to start, and you want to start with one food at a time about every 3 days, so you can see if they have any allergies.
Okay.
And today I brought this really cool line. It's the Beech Nut Organic line, but the really neat thing about it is that it's all organic fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
It's real food for babies.
And there's some interesting
There
combinations.
is. There's really delicious and unique combinations. So you can see here we have things like pear, kale, cucumber. Also in this line we have the raspberry, avocado, and the apple. I mean, such neat profiles.
It sounds very adventurous for a newborn, though.
Well, we're getting into about that 6 month time, and these are all foods that the baby will be getting through nursing.
Well, and I think what's interesting too is once you start them early, so if you give them that taste early, then there's really no fight later about I don't like this.
They get used to the texture, they get used to that flavor. Plus, in this line too, they don't add any extra water or any artificial preservatives.
Now, this one here, so it says banana, cinnamon, and granola.
Yes.
Like, I guess I never would have thought that like a baby could have granola.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
So it's the way they do a soft, gentle cooking process where they're not going to rinse out all the nutrients. So it's a really great process that Beech Nut has established. So just really great, and they're all for you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, like, that's so sweet of you all to like do this. Yeah.
I was going to ask, what's the timetable for like increasing certain foods too?
So you want to make sure you go about every 3 days. So when you're first starting out, you're not going to start with combinations. You're going to start off with single foods. Like you're going to start with bananas, with pears, and about every 3 days you can switch.
So then when can you move into something that's a little more combined?
After you've gotten through all of those stages. So when it's about that 6 months, like for about one more month, so about 7 months, that's when I recommend. It says 6 months here on the bottle too, but you can move in right depending on when your child is ready. But around that 6 to 7 months, you can start with the combinations.
Now, you know, people usually say you start with like baby cereal, right? Do you still recommend that?
You can. For my first, I started with that. For my second, I went all the way until she was ready to eat. So I went right into real foods at 6 months. I did.
Good to know.
She also wouldn't eat off a spoon. So we started giving her real food that she could pick up. So it's really interesting how each child is different as well.
I remember Harper was like literally salivating. Like by the time we gave her food, it was like she couldn't get to the spoon fast enough. And so that's how we knew, like, oh, we probably should be feeding you.
Well, that's what my first started a lot earlier than my second did because she was ready to eat. So you really need to look for those markers.
Okay, and so what if, let's say you hit the 5 month mark and maybe they don't take the food? I mean, they just may not be ready.
You can wait a little bit longer. Yep, you want to see if even their mouth goes around the spoon, little kind of tricks that you can look for. But just wait until your child is ready.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're extra finicky,
yes,
you got to take a little extra time, or
do some airplanes, jump on your head.
Have some patience.
But also, if you're cooking in the house while you're cooking your food, the baby will smell it, and then that starts the salivation and all the hunger cues. So make sure you're cooking while you're going to feed your baby as well.
Okay. Some great pointers. And as always, if you'd like more information, you can find Kelly on her website, kellyschoice.org.
Yeah, this is usually the time where I try the food that Kelly brings, but I think I'm going to pass this
Actually,
time.
I think you would love these because these are really
Jim.
great flavors.
You really would.
Yes.
After the show.
Yeah. He's going to be diving in.